What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel, and today we are going to do kind of a tester, teaser, pilot video, kind of get things going. We basically want to launch a new show or a news thing for the car community and something along those lines. So we're going to kind of start slow. We're going to just do this as together. Obviously, we're going to do all the episodes together, and that's how we plan to do it, and we want to go forward from there. It's just going to encompass some news, some car scene stuff, some of our opinions on other topics that are trending, and just kind of give you guys something to talk about. And then hopefully you guys join us in a discussion in the comments after the fact. So let's get this started. I'm Ravi.
I'm Chris.
And here we go, right? So first up, we went to SlammedEnuff this weekend, show in Daytona Beach. This is their first year in Central Florida. We did the pre-meet at Donnie's Donuts, and
which was dope, by the way.
We their donuts are amazing, by the way. If you shout out to him. Not sponsored, no hashtag ad, none of that nonsense. They're just really good donuts.
Great.
And we kind of wanted to go over some of the things we saw at the show, and the pre-meet, obviously. So, kind of starting it off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, one of the things that that I liked, which I want to get your opinion on, is what do you think about MCs at car shows?
It was different. It wasn't an MC like on stage. It was a kind of a different type of like where he walked around and talked about all the cars individually.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of different. It was it was interesting. I hadn't seen that before. I mean, maybe they do that at other events. I'd never been to one of their events.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first one I had gone to. So that was interesting. I mean, it was weird though because he kind of put someone on the spot a little bit. There's a dude with a Honda Civic, and he was going over his car, complimenting his engine bay.
Mm-hmm.
Then he kind of went around to the side of the car and was like, "Oh, yeah, it's cool. It's alright if you have fake wheels or real wheels," and it just
cringy. It
was a cringe moment. But I don't know if you saw the dude when he went over to the I believe it was like a wide body Kia that was like a metal wide body and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He went over there, and the dude who was with the people who owned the car were just like super ecstatic, and the dude made a comment, and he was like, "Oh, finally we're getting some recognition for our hard work."
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really dope. I mean, that really helped. Just draws it all together and makes people feel better about their stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it brings a different twist to the show too. It's nice to whenever somebody's talking, you can go over there and you can see what he's talking about, check out somebody else's car that you didn't see in the beginning. So
what did you think about the games and stuff that they had, as opposed to like a bikini contest or a b-boy battle that you typically see at car shows?
I mean, I don't want to pick one over the other, but I do like the whole games thing. I mean, my big thing is when I go to car shows, especially when they're 6 hours long, was it?
This one was like 6, I think.
Right, I mean, after like an hour or two, I've pretty much seen what I need to see. It's nice to have some entertainment, you can chop it up with your friends, play some games.
I'm terrible about time management at car shows. I'll literally walk 10 feet and talk to somebody, and then walk another 10 feet and talk to someone else, and then and I'll miss the whole show.
Oh.
If given the opportunity to miss an entire show, I will make it down the first row and stop and talk to everyone imaginable.
Gotcha.
But I'll talk to anybody that looks at me, so there's that. We were talking about bikini contests earlier, and it's funny, like, growing up, when we got into cars, I mean, like, I want to say, like, 01, 02, around that time, like, bikini contests were super popular, and there wasn't an Instagram, so, like, the models would come to the shows to be discovered, and that's how they'd get publicity.
Right.
And, magazine features and all that were, like, the highlights, and now it's so different, like, the girls can cut that right out,
mm-hmm.
and just skip right to the client, basically, or move to their fan base. But it's funny, like, you see a lot of cars that are really popular on Instagram that have to come out to real life, and they
not so much.
They don't quite fit the bill, and it's really funny, like, you see the combinations of how bills have changed over the years and generational changes. Like, when we were around, man, like, or when we were first getting into it, like, there's so much more racing and so much more, like,
I agree,
competition, and, like,
totally different.
Our scene evolved into a social gathering,
mm-hmm.
and the donk scene, like the big wheel cars, basically took over our competitive nature,
right.
Which is really funny. They do all the things we used to do, like motor, interior, system,
mm-hmm.
conversions, all that stuff. And here we are, literally doing wheels, bags, suspend,
right.
and color change, wraps, temporary stuff.
Yeah, no, when we were kids, I mean, we were younger.
We're not kids, but yeah.
We're still playing. When we were younger, it was just so different, man. Like, we would just go and meet up, put an intake on the car, rip the back seats out, meet up at the car wash,
yep.
and lock it up.
Race and stuff. I mean, I used to race the car shows, race on the way home.
Right, that was the best part of the car shows.
You'd see people, it was the competition value. It's
right.
so funny how that's changed now. Everybody, like, is literally leaving car shows to look for photo shoots.
Right.
They're like, yo, who's shooting? Who's doing what? Who can get us in a video? Who can make us famous?
Yeah. Now before it was you were doing your own thing to beat the other guy, you know.
It's really funny too. Like the car club thing has changed so much. Like back in the day, it used to be like real competitive. Like car clubs would go at each other's throats.
Mm-hmm. And it meant something to meet somebody's car club. Like,
right. Now everybody's in a gang, but no one's got gang rules, I guess. Like, it's kind of funny. Like
everybody's gang now.
Right. Back then, it was like you joined a car club, and it was like a gang. Like, you were like, you were in it for life. Like, you paid dues, and you made a pact to be a part of this group to grow with them.
Right.
Now it's like, yo, whoever get me the most shout-outs and followers,
right.
I'll join your crew next.
Right.
You know,
which banner's gonna get me the most likes?
Yeah, put me on too. I need followers too. You know, I need my sorcery brand. You know, needs to grow. You know, I'll join whatever you need. Just put me on. I got
slide. Right.
Yeah, I got a back window that's empty. You know.
Yeah.
You know, getting that exclusive clubs. So you know. Anyways, you know, moving on. We'll kind of jump out of the car show stuff and into some news and stuff like that. And I'll kind of go over this because I have the list in front of me.
Well, actually, you know what? Now that we're on car shows, how do you feel about, you know, going on into the future, these same events coming up to the same spot, using the same venue and stuff like that?
That was an issue this weekend a little bit. I think they didn't get as much. Well, I mean, the show was super successful. Don't get me wrong. They packed the venue tight. Mm-hmm. They filled it from room like end to end. It's just weird that they did a similar show with a similar audience in the same venue as Tuner Evo. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hard to find venues in general in Florida that are willing to cater to this, and that's not as expensive as the Orlando Convention Center, because that's super expensive. Yes. I mean, at one time they quoted me like $100,000 plus to do an event there.
Crazy.
I don't know if you remember how crazy the Mystery Meat stuff was, but yeah, they gave me a crazy price to go with that. So this event went on, and I mean, it went well. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next year. They may have gotten away with it this year, but I don't know how crazy it's going to be next year when they have to pretty much replicate what they did. Again, it'll be like literally 4 shows in the same place in like 365 days.
And it sucks as somebody who's trying to throw a show because, you know, you got to put in that work. There's only so many venues you can use.
Right.
But at the same time, you want to one-up the next show.
We always say that, like, it's like car shows are best outdoors, but the traveling car shows have to be indoors for security and safety reasons, and not like because somebody's going to physically get hurt, but safety in terms of money. Like, you have to make money, so it's safe that it's an indoor event. It's real weird, man. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen. Or I feel like the indoor shows take a hit because of that, because they don't, like, you know, there's nothing new. Like, I mean, realistically, I hadn't seen cornhole or pong or anything like that
and that's why
before the show, which was cool, and I hadn't seen an MC walking around before the show. But at the same time, like, how many people really want that before it's like, okay, we've seen that already. Like, what's your next innovative step? What are you going to bring to the table that's going to, like...
And that's the challenge.
Yeah, so if you've got any ideas what people, you know, what you look forward to at future car shows, you know, leave a comment below. Like, let people know. A bunch of the dudes that throw car shows are friends of mine from the entire scene all around the country. We all communicate, we all talk. If you got ideas and you want to see something at a show, leave a comment. I'm sure we can pass the information along, and hopefully somebody will pick something up.
For sure.
So, anything else on the car show stuff? Or?
No, I mean, I think we touched bases on everything. It was just a great time. You know, I think one of my favorite parts is I saw one of my old cars.
Yeah, the old WRX from years ago.
I had that car for 10 years. It's just great to be able to see somebody else enjoying something that you built, you know?
You know, it's funny that, like, you went up to the kid and you were talking to him, and he was super hyped to hear all the stories and stuff that you, like, all the racing, blowing the motor up, blowing the transmission. He actually found out that you had a JDM engine swap in that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like, well, basically, I was going to say, like, I always hate seeing people post on the internet when they find their old car or somebody buys it or whatever. Yeah. They go and tag their friends, and they're like, oh, it's my old car, look at it, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, let it go. Like, you sold it, you cut ties, that's it. Like,
right. Or at least be positive. I mean, like, I tagged on a bunch of this stuff, and I said, look, I'm just happy that you're enjoying it now.
For sure. I mean, the kid's super stoked about it, and, like, young kid. I mean, it's funny, like, you traded the car in Miami, and it ended up back in Central Florida where we were. So awesome. Like, just stroke of luck that, like, you ended up even there at that time and seeing the car. Yeah. We spotted it, and I was like, yo, that dude's got your old wheels. Like, it's like, that's like your old setup back in the day, and we walked over and, like, started seeing blemishes and little random stuff.
Memory lane. And I was able to help him, you know. Don't slam second gear.
Yeah, right. Subaru problems. Know nothing about that.
Right. But
we blow up on launch. We don't blow up in second gear.
Yeah,
okay?
well, it was a WRX.
Right.
Regardless.
Right.
It was fun, so that was good.
So, let me move forward a little bit to some news and stuff. Forza Horizon 4 is coming out, and today, or well, maybe it was earlier today or whatever, they post, or when it depends on when you see this video, they posted a screenshot with all the cars that are coming out for the Forza Horizon 4 Formula Drift pack. I made a list really quick. Here's a screenshot of everything really quickly so you can see it. The first car, well, I'm not going to go in order because I just wrote the names down the way I saw it, but Alec Honadale's S14, Dean Carney's Viper, Justin Pollock's Mustang, Josh Robinson's Ute, Corey Hosford's 240SX with the Boss Kit, Matt Field's S14 with the S15 front end, and Donovan Brockway's E30, which I believe is like Red Baron Racing or something like that. Those are the cars that they have confirmed. I believe that's 7 cars, and I don't know much about it. Oh My God Drift shared the screenshot, then I went back and I like matched all the cars to like the old Formula Drift website. None of them, some of them are new, some of them are current, some of them are from years past. So you're gonna have to like, it's not like, apparently this pack has been years in the making. I mean, like anything else, the Hoonigan car pack is gonna be amazing.
Awesome.
So they have more angle, in the old Forza Horizon 3. So if you drift, and you're around, we play all the time online. We go drifting. We have our track setups and stuff, like around the city and the mountains and whatnot, and then we also Goliath race.
Oh, the best. And you know what? If you're in the cars and you have a system like a PlayStation or Xbox, Forza's like so much fun.
It's an Xbox exclusive, so
oh, is it? I'm sorry. So Gran Turismo, regardless, the car games, they're just a lot of fun, and we play Forza Horizon a lot.
So yeah, we're always on. We Twitch sometimes too. I stream as well.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future we'll do some of that stuff as well. Get you guys interacting, and I've done Forza Horizon Drift competitions on my channel before as well.
Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, no, Forza Horizon 4, if you pre-order it, I believe the Formula Drift pack is free. There's like some weird stipulations. If you buy like a physical copy, you don't get it for this. I don't know, whatever. You can look it up on the website.
Right.
All the links will be down in the description below for all the stuff that we're talking about and pointing out and whatnot. Anyways, so moving on, we had a couple random discussion topics that we wanted to talk about, just as like quick bang throughs and seeing, like stuff like that. I had one, like videographers and photographers that are into cars, that aren't into cars, or maybe not deep in the scene, that shoot car videos that are popular. Anything weird you see, or?
My whole thing is, if you're good at your craft, that's great. But I don't think it's the same as if you had the passion for the scene, or you even knew what you were looking for in certain things.
Because I was looking at a video earlier today, and the dude had a slow-mo shot of a fake bride seat, and then a slow-mo shot of replica wheels. And not even, like, good replicas, like, super obvious fake replicas, like bad ones. And I was like, man, like, they're catering to an audience of kids that watch YouTube videos that are new to cars, that are taking in all of the information, that just don't know any better, that don't realize that, like, I mean, maybe not, like, so much, like...
Which is also not the down, like, fake wheels, because, I mean, I've used fake wheels.
Yeah, I run fake wheels in my drift car and stuff every so often. We go out to the track. I just have spares. They're just cheap and affordable. But, like, for people that are getting into it, like, you kind of got to know where things come from before you go the other way. I mean, you make the decision to pick what you want. No, you always want people to learn the right way first, and then, like, the rest of it after. I mean, people cut corners in weird places, and you get real hurt. You can get real hurt from running fake seats. Not so much fake wheels. You break a wheel, you break a wheel. It's either your suspension, your wheel, whatever you're gonna drive into. But if you're gonna crash your car, you're gonna crash your car. It is what it is.
At that point, it's
it's kind of goes both ways at that point.
Right.
Fake seats, on the other hand, is kind of sketchy because you can break your back if the seat gives out, and there are videos about that on the internet, on YouTube. So if you're here, Google that when you're done. Moving on.
I mean, I want to get your take on, and I know we spoke about it, we touched on this a little earlier, and we talked about this at the meet as well. How do you feel as far as generation changes, on how the competitive spirit is now versus,
I don't think people are competitive anymore. I think the trophy portion of the shows are funny. Like,
it is funny.
Like, there's so many awards. I mean, okay, so we go to one show, like Clean Culture, for instance. I love Clean Culture. The shows are awesome. They're a great time every single time we go. But I think for the most part, instead of doing like categories to hurt anybody's feelings, they just give like top 25 or top 50 cars, and they're like, oh, cool. And then that way it saves the drama and the stress from like hurting anyone's feelings and telling people who's in first, second, third, whatever.
Yeah, which wasn't the case
back in the day. I mean, back in the day, it was like fighting words if you got first place over somebody else. But,
right. And we were racing after we left.
Yeah, I mean, that was part of the...
Right.
You know, part of the whole shebang of it. And
yeah. Now kids get home and they just jump on Instagram and comment their life away.
I mean, yeah, like I think a lot of people don't really care about that. They're just there to support the culture, and which is awesome. I mean, like, I prefer you support the culture than not do anything.
True, yeah.
And then they come out and they're like looking for the best way to get followers or like subs or whatever it is to kind of grow their personal brand or whatever it is. You know, yeah. I don't know. It's changed so much, like in terms of just that aspect. Like it's not the same. Like it's just different.
And to touch on that, what do you think about quality builds that are accepted?
It varies from show to show. Every show that we go to has its own level of quality built in. One show I went to, and I won't mention names, but like a kid pulled up on replica wheels and the owner of the show literally went to give him back his money and tell him to leave at the door.
That's terrible.
But like something happened and he just like couldn't do it. Like he just couldn't, you know, I mean, stop the kid. On the other hand, there's a bunch of other shows where like that type of stuff is accepted and those cars will get in perfectly fine and be like hyped that they made it in the door. Right. You know, like oh yeah, you're accepted. Here's your letter of approval. Post it on your social media. Tell people that you're awesome, so on and so forth. And I mean, then there are other shows where they're like name brand everything. Yeah, quality over quantity or whatever it is, and you run into like that wall. You know what I mean? It's different in racing when you go like autocross and stuff like that, and like people aren't looking for that type of stuff. They're just looking to see if you're a good driver and how fast you are. Yeah,
all that.
That's a whole different level of competition. You know, it's very interesting to see the changes in where people fit. I mean, like, we were out at the show the other day, and, like, a kid was telling me that, like, his entire engine mods consisted of, like, an intake and a tune, and he was totally happy with that. He had no intentions of ever doing anything else. Or, well, you know, he had other plans, like, real far later on in life, but not now. And on my side of things, like, I bought my car and was like, this car's going to make, like, 650 horsepower, 700 horsepower, right off jump.
Off the jump.
Yeah, it's going to have a built motor, built transmission. It's going to aesthetically this way and that way. And that's how my Evo ended up so crazy, like, right away, even though, like, it's blown up, like, twice. But it's part of the game. Like, I needed the power to back up the car. I didn't really... You know what I mean? It just ended there. It, like,
they go hand in hand.
Yeah, like, you don't buy a race car to look at. You buy a race car to race.
Right.
You know?
And everybody's situation is different. But, yeah, the overall spectrum, I see what you're saying, is totally...
Yeah, I get weird when people build drift cars that don't drift.
Yeah.
But that's kind of strange to me, but like, you know.
Especially the kind of money and effort you're putting into that?
Yeah, you got a handbrake, dual calipers, angle kit, all this fancy jazz, and the only...
Slide it.
Yeah, go party. Do that. Don't just park with your wheels turned, okay, bro?
Right. I can do this in a parking lot.
Yeah, right, see. Okay. Burnouts don't count. You got burnouts and donuts don't count. You know, come to the track, come party with us. Okay.
Go Walt have something.
Yeah, go Walt. You don't even have to go that far, okay? Drive in the center of the circle, feel good about yourself, just be out there. Go drive your car. Yeah, so I guess moving forward, what's your take on the saturation of car events?
You know, that's tough. I do think that it's getting to be where like there's more and more car events happening, and I think that there's only so much of the, like we talked about, there's only so much of the same thing that you can do, and a lot of these car shows, they all have, well, not all, but most of them have admission now too, right. These kids aren't going to go to every single car show, pay admission to do the same thing, win the same trophy, and you're probably going to get beat by the same kid in your category again anyway.
Listen, isn't that the truth? You definitely, you're right. Like, I think there's a point where like the same events happen so much, the same types of events happen so much, that it's literally the same people that only go to those shows, and it just becomes a social hangout that you're paying money to do, and eventually someone will replace you with just a good weekly meet or something like that. Like, it's kind of funny how that works. Like,
yeah, I think if they're going to continue to do meets, they need to figure out a way of doing something different. It's not the same. It's not a meet. It'll be something else. You know what I mean? Like,
I always push that boundary a lot, like with my events.
Which is why I like your events the best, dude. Like, if you had different stuff going on, you had racing, you know, you've incorporated art, you know, stuff like that.
It's hard. It's definitely hard, and I've definitely struggled a lot with doing those types of events because I've stepped so far out of the box that it's literally failed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think people realize that failure is a part of building a brand.
Of course.
And people want to be safe all the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you kind of have to throw some money to the wind to hope for the best. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
You can't just live in a bubble and expect.
I mean, it kind of gets a little weird.
Yeah.
So, anything else, or?
No, I mean, I think we've covered, you know, the news events that we were talking about earlier. I think we had a good time. I had a really good time this past weekend with you guys, and we saw a bunch of people that we knew, and I think it was just overall fun.
For sure. Okay, so then I'll move on. I have some videos for you guys to check out for the week that I recommend, my weekly recommendations. So every time we do this video, we'll drop some videos. If you guys have, you know, recommendations, feel free to DM me, send me some stuff. I'll check it out on Instagram. That way the best ones will get posted. For this week, I mean, it's kind of going to go back to like two of the videos we really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. The Hoonigan video with Micah Diaz with the Street Fighter LA E46. I believe it's called, "Is This the Most Savage Man Line Thrown Down to Date?" And he went crazy.
Super in.
Yeah, that's nuts. Even the dudes at Hoonigan were like visually hyped. Like, the video is amazing. Car's super sick.
Yeah, 6.8 or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's a stroked 6-liter that they fully built and all this nonsense.
Sounded amazing.
Sounds crazy. Car looks great.
He wall tapped.
Yep. Car's nuts. So, link in the description below for that. Check that out. And the second video for the week that you should check out, this is from a couple weeks back, is the Rotiform Always Rollin Worthersee 2018 trip video. It starts with a week before the show. He's not even a stance guy, and he literally enjoyed it. So, yeah. Definitely check it out. Beautiful cinematography. Crispy, the dude from Dub Corps, I believe. JJ, one of those dudes. AO from Rotiform, and a bunch of other dudes were in it. They shot it. The video is insane. Like, it's so well put together.
Super nice. It was great.
Even the drifting part was crazy. I mean, it had literally a little bit of everything, and a good story to tell to go with it. So, definitely check those out. Links in the description below as before. If you enjoyed this, let us know. If you think we should do something different, you think we should change up some stuff, you know, anything along those lines. If you feel like you just want to be part of the discussion, let us know.
For sure, yeah. We're going to keep dropping these. Yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about, you know, let us know.
There's going to be a little gap after this one, but we'll be back as soon as we get back from what we're doing. And we will try to do these on Wednesday nights. That's our goal. And then we'll have them up on Thursdays. That's the plan. That's the goal. I mean, they're pretty straightforward to edit. I plan to do most of these in one takes, I mean, for the most part. If they get longer, we'll split them up. We'll do a little bit of cuts, drop little pieces here and there, and that's really it. I mean...
Yeah, just let us know what you want to talk about. We'll jump right in, and we'll get some good stuff
We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on everything, you know. We'll have our little Instagrams right here. Yeah, right? Yeah. Feel free to follow, or just DM us. Let us know what you got. Any news, any information, anything crazy, anything you think we should check out, we're down. So
send it our way.
Yep. I guess that's really it. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.
See you later.